We hit him with that American Eagle screech. That...
You're listening to another Woodshop podcast, the okayest podcast of its type. Your hosts are Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, Peter Kapar of Petree's Workshop, and Braden Boakes of Littlebug Woodworking. You can find them as well as the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
Welcome to episode 210 of Another Woodshop podcast, celebrating 4th of July Eve, the night before the holiest of July holidays, where we remind you what this holiday is truly about. Because Thomas Jefferson didn't sail across the Potomac to die for our sins in a Battle of Gettysburg Address against the metric redcoats for you to not enjoy your freedoms. So go forth and drink, set off fireworks, and listen to three mildly entertaining and slightly educational podcast hosts that are basically children. Happy birthday, America! Woo!
Make sure to put out your bush lights for Captain America tonight, or he won't leave you firecrackers in your stockings.
And also put out any firework fires with said bush lights.
Definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely do that.
I'm using Bush Light Peach.
Oh, bush latte pache. I got it. It's good.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 doctors say that that's one full serving of fruit for the day.
Yeah, I think bush light peach is Georgia's national bird or state bird or something. Also, speaking of state birds, Dan,
Our patron?
attaboy, picked it up. Picked up
We
what I'm
got
putting down.
one new patron this week, you guys. One.
Uno.
And speaking of birds, it's I think this is a bird. Jerry Hajduck.
Hi, Duke, my people.
Oh, I thought it was duck.
Hajduk is Polish for high duck.
Hi, Dukin. Yeah, because
No.
he's a blast, guys. Hi, Dukin.
Thank you, Jerry, for joining the Man Army. As always, we like to give a huge shout out to all of our VIP patrons. And they are as follows: Jared Foster from Foster Designs, Jake Miller from A Sweet Shop, Alex Adams from Type A Furniture, John Herbolsheimer from A Living Laugh Woodworks, Luke Bosworth from LJB Makes, Jared LaPuma from LL Builds, Tyler Booth from Temecula Yard Games, Henry Lutens over at Manfreda Wood, Richard Don't Twerk, that's Scotty at Elevated Wood Design, Charlie Coons at Stubby K Studio, Justin Frazier from Frazier Canyon Woodworks, Sarah at Rosie's Wood Shop, Jesse McIntyre, that's Sage Hill Woodcraft, Michael at Gillette Woodworks, El Jefe, that is Maker's Way, that's Jeff, Victor Aragama at Whim Designs, all wet and pathetic. Clearly, that's Nick Brim Woodworking.
The Brimster.
Max does not make out with Mindy at Reed Design Co. That is Max and Alyssa at Reed Design Co. Matt Maynard at Patriotic Pines, Bill Burkle, WTB Woodworking, Jake Coneen at Dobby's Craft House, Justin Addy from Calvary Customs, Gastric Pencil. I think that is
Patrick Gensel.
Gensel, yes.
I like gastric pencil better.
Scott Shirk at Red Lake Custom Woodworks, Max and Minnie Coons at Stubby K Studio, Justin Bailey from Campfire Woodworks, and Kyle from Four Dances Design Co. Thank you to all of our patrons, including our VIP patrons. If you want to join the Man Army, go over to patreon.com/Another Woodshop Podcast and get joined up over there. We have several tiers you can join us at. It's all up to your choosing.
So many tiers.
We're talking tiers, TIERS, not TE. ARS.
He can spell, ladies.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of different tiers for, choose the one that gives you most pleasure and most benefits. We just actually updated some stuff on there as well. Some of the different tier descriptions and things you get with it. And I was actually thinking we might want to squeeze in a quarterly call maybe before the baby comes. Might be fun.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't think we had one with Braden on yet.
I think you got like 3 days until the baby comes, right? I
And,
mean,
like,
we're
between-
it's coming down to the wire.
Anywhere between 1 and 35 days is where we're at right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. You can
I
come
was
any
on
day
the
now.
last call.
You were on a last call.
I was,
Well,
but
you were a patron.
I still think that no, I was
kidding.
I was a free patron. No,
Gotta
I think
skirt somewhere.
I think we definitely should squeeze in a call before you squeeze out a baby.
Agreed.
It's not how that works.
Agreed.
It comes from the lady. But yeah, well, listen. Speaking of squeezing out a baby, our very wonderful friend, Hamilton, squeezed out the baby that is CNC with me. The amazing online CNC community. So if you don't know, we've had Hamilton on before, and CNC with me is actually one of our sponsors this week. It was amazing. He reached out to us and wanted to work with the podcast because our listeners and what we do is so closely related to what he's trying to build there. And he built a wonderful platform called CNC with me for you guys to essentially, it's an all-encompassing platform for all CNC enthusiasts. They have weekly projects, they have expert tutorials, collaborative community. You get a lot of resources there. There's real-time support, and just so you know, it goes straight to Hamilton. That's right, Big H himself. And the nice thing is you can get, and like Dan's part of the site, he's been using it for a while. I think you signed up right when it launched.
Yes,
Right
I was a
right
quote unquote founder.
That's right. Much like our presidents, am I right? Anyway, so Dan was one of the
God, don't
presidents.
even.
He was the George Washington of CNC with me, or one of the other lesser.
I
people
want
in the
to. I want to
office.
be the Alexander Hamilton of CNC with me.
He sailed across the Delaware.com
.com.
website to get to CNC with me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's great because you can just jump on a site. Like Dan said, he jumps on there and just grabs some files and he's able to CNC within a couple of minutes. It's awesome. And
Yeah,
all the stuff that you
it's-
have on there has
It's
commercial license.
fantastic because Hamilton releases a video every Friday that coincides with cncwithme.com, and he's got a project all lined up, and you can go to the cncwithme.com site and get all the files for that project and all the tool pathing, and it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, and listen, this is for every single level. Like clearly Dan's not a noob when it comes to CNC work.
No, but it's still fun.
Yeah, it's for beginners, it's for intermediate. If you're trying to grow, if you're trying to talk with other individuals that are like-minded, like that are trying to build projects, answer questions. It's a great resource. All the files come in all the formats you would need. I got SVG, DXF. I think he makes them for files for Vectric, Carveco, and most other CNCs out there. And it's a great way to get started, grab some files and get going. And the best part is the second greatest holiday in July is Christmas in July, which I'm really hoping my daughter's born on Christmas in July. That'd be amazing. But they're doing a Christmas in July event. So it's a holiday themed CNC project for every Friday in July. And this is right around that time of the year. You guys already know. If you've been listening for more than a year, you know that this is when I start saying, hey guys, Christmas is in like less than 6 months or 6 months, something like that. It's soon. So you definitely want to get on it. You want to start planning your year later down the line so that you're not slammed in November trying to crank out projects for last minute craft fairs and gifts. So they're going to be doing a holiday themed CNC project every Friday in July. There's going to be over 100 Christmas SVGs and STL files. And they're going to do a CNC Secret Santa where you can create and exchange digital SVGs with other people in a community across the globe.
Oh, that's fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's fun. Nice little Secret Santa thing. We should do a patron Secret Santa of some kind.
Ooh.
That's too much work. I'm going to retract that. But
that would be
we have to
problematic.
coordinate. That would be problematic. We'll just Secret Santa you guys a hug on
Virtual
Maker
hug.
Camp. Yeah, virtual hug at Maker Camp. But go check out CNC with me for Christmas in July and sign up today. It's awesome, and it's one of us, Hamilton. We love him.
The really cool thing about CNC with me too is, I mean, we talk about this all the time, is the community, and he's built like a really tight knit community of CNC users over there. And they do semi regular. I want to say like once
It's
a
super
month, but I
regular.
don't know what the exact.
It's weekly.
Yeah, it could be weekly. It might be hourly.
Every 7 days, even.
All I know is very frequently I see Alex Duffy is hosting like these CNC like online meetups of essentially, you know, we've got like the Stoop, we've got our Zoom calls, we've got things like that. It's just one more opportunity for you to connect with people that are like-minded of a very like kind of niche part of the community. So it's a great little community.
Yeah,
It really is.
He also has some special bits he's designed. So you can, you know, also jump on that and potentially take advantage of those. They do some really good work. I've seen him; he uses them on all of his projects, and he's done some CNC work, guys. He's done the legwork on it, so you don't have to, which is pretty awesome.
You're saying he uses them a little bit?
You said the thing. You should get like a little air horn, like the word of the day.
Anyway, go check out cncwithme.com and be a patron.
Set up your profile on the community page
Patronize
today.
cncwithme.com.
There we go. Awesome. Well, that was great. Now I'm thinking, what's the next segment? We've had guests on for so many weeks that
I
I'm
have
like,
no idea what's going on now.
For
all right, so
exactly
intro,
2 weeks.
patron, sponsor, guest. We don't have a guest. Guest. We don't have a guest. In Maker News. Hey guys, we forgot to look up Maker News.
Oh God, you're gonna hit me with
I've got a piece of Maker News.
Okay, let's do it.
The Makers for St. Jude project had a $20,000 goal for this year that they set for 2024, and I told them this was going to happen, but they blew it out of the water. They've already surpassed 20
They hit
grand.
it and they didn't quit it.
They did not quit it. They're on the prowl for new goal honeys. I don't know where to take this joke.
They have a bigger goal. They raised the goal by 10.
They hit their goal. They raised it. So now the goal is 35,000, which, you know, that's a fine goal. It's 15 grand more. Personally, I was pushing for 50. I think that 50 should be the goal because, you know, we haven't even gotten the holidays. We haven't gotten like the big months.
He likes to bump it so that he could bump it again.
They're obtainable goals. I get it. I'm a big fan of like the stretch goal. You know, I want to feel bad when we don't hit it because we just come like this far from getting it. But
that's how I treat my weight loss goals.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to hit it, just forget about it.
Yeah, the goal doesn't change. The deadline does. You just move and push it back.
That's right. Just move the goalpost. But yeah, so that's the new goal. 35 grand by the end of the year. So all we have to do is take the next half of the year and not even double what we've already done. So
not even double.
That
But
should be
enough,
easy.
really.
Imagine if we doubled it though.
What if we doubled it again? Double down? Oh man. What if we raised more money for St. Jude's than they managed to fit calories in a KFC double down?
Is it 50,000?
I think it's like 75,000 calories. Do you remember the double down?
No, I remember the double down. That was the chicken and a sandwich.
Yeah, fried chicken sandwich, but instead of buns, they just put fried chicken, and instead of condiments, they just put fried chicken grease.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a dream come true. I remember.
I think the whole thing, like the glue holding it all together, was just mashed potatoes and gravy and cheese.
What was the Taco Bell cheesy fiesta potatoes? Is that still a thing? The little bowl, and it was just like little tots or whatever.
It's not still a thing.
It's definitely not.
Such a good, because it wasn't like the dollar menu. You could have gotten it for like 70 cents or something.
Oh,
back in the day,
that right there. That's how we know it's not around. You said dollar menu.
Yeah, there's nothing for $1 at any of these places anymore.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks a lot.
I go through Taco Bell more than is healthy. I am so deeply offended when I get like one meal and an extra taco, and they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna be like $15.79." I'm like, "You shut your whore mouth."
That's too much.
$3. That's $3 in tacos right there.
Dude, you
15 what?
You go anywhere to eat now, and it's like $20 minimum.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, you want a drink too? 25. Wire water's $5. It's like airport food.
All I want,
bruh. let me put you on to the McDonald's app.
Oh, I
It
love
was
the McDonald's app.
fantastic.
I'm all about it. Taco Bell has one.
So I know like a few weeks ago, up to like a couple of months ago, I was talking about how I was losing weight, but like I found the McDonald's app this time.
I
We're in
was
a
losing
bulk-
weight, then I
we're in a
found the
bulk-
McDonald's app.
We're in a
There
bulk
is
season now.
always a deal in the app. So I get 2 breakfast sandwiches for $3.
That's some Warren Buffett shit right there. That's what that is.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Listen,
It's
all I need is Taco Bell to add $1 drink on because I just want myself $1.
Oh, I love that. That's good. Oh, so good. I mean, what's more American than McDonald's?
That's
I mean,
right.
Apple
You know-
McDonald's.
Yeah. When's the last time you had apple pie, Dan? When's the last time you had McDonald's or Taco Bell? Honestly, Taco Bell, very American now.
Actually, that's a good question. When
Yeah.
was the last time I had apple pie?
America's
When was the-
changing.
When was the last time that anybody even said the words Burger King?
Oh, yeah. They,
I will fight you.
they were the king.
I am a huge proponent of the Burger King chicken sandwich with cheese extra mayo. That's a
Is it purely because of the mayo?
I'm not shocked.
shut up. Shut up. Maybe stop judging me.
I'm not
It's a
judging, Dan.
fantastic sandwich. It's a
I feel like-
fantastic sandwich.
Dan, I feel like we just need to get the right number of chiladas in you, and I'll take you through a drive-through, and you're gonna be like, "How much money for the mayo gun?" And then they're gonna hand it through the
I
drive-through.
think we are at the right number of chiladas currently, but we're busy right now. So
Hey, Pete, I'm gonna need you to carry this for a second while I switch to mobile. I'm headed to Dan's place. We're gonna get a mayo gun.
No, you're not allowed. Also, why is there a gun of mayo? Is it is it made of mayo or the ammo is mayo?
The
the
ammo is
ammo
mayo.
Come on. now.
Okay. But what if,
Obviously.
hear me out. Mayo gun.
The gun
The
itself
gun
is
is
mayo.
made of mayo.
It's made
That'd
of
be
mayo.
Squishy.
That would be really floppy.
No, but like space age crystallized mayo.
Ooh, like
epoxy like infused mayo.
Listen, if we
Like
can prove
like
the Earth
dip-
is flat, we can make a gun out of mayo that's solid.
like Dippin' Dots, but made of mayo.
Yes, there you go. See, he's halfway there. He's halfway.
I disagree.
Listen,
That science has gone too far.
Our
It's
Maker
just-
News has spiraled.
oh, we
into
still
the
Maker News?
stratosphere.
Are we
God.
doing Maker News?
I
Is
think
that
we're
what this
technic-
is?
We haven't moved on from Maker News. Is there any more Maker News?
I have a question.
I actually have something. I found something.
Oh, okay. And then I have a
Yeah.
question about some Maker News.
Ask your question first.
So I would like to discuss. I don't know if you guys have done any looking into it. Harvey's new nickel coating on their
Ooh.
table saws and other. It basically wherever cast iron would be.
I
on
have a
regular tool.
question upon your question.
Okay, go
This
go.
is a question, yes?
Well, I'm just like, have you guys like looked into it at all? Because it looks
No.
cool. Like I actually kind of dig the.
I haven't looked
gold
into
color.
it, but like if they put that nickel coating on the back side of their machines, would that be nickelback coating?
Ah,
I need like a
there's just like a disconnect, like where's the like the static and then like the technical difficulties and then we'll be right back.
let me see if I can get a.
Come on, that was a classic joke.
I loved that.
It was low hanging fruit. Everybody saw it coming.
I didn't. I honestly I
You
knew
saw it
something
coming.
was
Come on
coming,
now.
but I didn't think that was what was coming.
Let me see if this will work. There we go. That's a good one.
It was
We
pretty
need, to keep,
low.
we need to keep
pretty
that
low.
one.
Yeah.
Keep that one locked and loaded.
Just for Dan jokes. Just in case. For any jokes. It's good stuff.
But yeah, it looks cool. I think that it's just like a running joke with everybody in every single wood shop that, you know, if you set down like a frosty bevy on the cast iron, you get
Bevy.
your booty whooped. So I mean, if the coating actually does help with that, and it appears to, if it helps with that, I think that's just a good thing.
That's the thing. If it helps with it, if it actually works, if it's long, if it has longevity, really cool. I like it. I'm all
I just
for it.
find it. I kind of find it really, really hard to believe that in let's see, table saws probably were invented in 1776 with the birth of the United States.
Yeah.
America.
Since
Something
then,
like that.
nobody's thought, hey, what if we did this? That seems kind of crazy.
I think back then the table saw tables themselves were made of cherry trees.
Yes, they were.
George Washington.
George Foreman cut them down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he sizzled them and all the fat drained out.
That's how you get the perfectly flat top. Well, if we're going to talk about U.S. history, we should be playing like back in 1775 when the first table saw was invented, brought over here from the UK and improved with cherry wood. There you go. There's some fun facts for you.
The first table saws came to the United States to escape the persecution of the metric system.
Prosecution of the metric church and its oppressive ways. Oh, so dumb. I love it.
Welcome back to the History Channel with AWP.
This is literally drunk history. This is the episode. This is the one lost episode
Literally.
of drunk history.
This is
literally.
This is one step further. This is drunk and unresearched history.
Unresearched.
What do you
that.
mean unresearched? I learned.
We can't get sued if we say, yeah, it's unresearched.
Listen,
We're just
I
talking.
learned history in the history class, which for some reason in the U.S. is called social studies, which I never understood. So dumb. So
As
dumb.
an American, born and bred.
But whatever.
I also
Imperial.
don't understand it.
We don't
Bread.
know what's happening, but we know we're here, and for some reason it's fine.
Believe you're studying social issues throughout the history.
Oh,
Of the country.
As
you
long as we
giving
don't
an
study social isms, am I right? Well,
Wait,
speaking of
was-
socialism,
was
Dan,
Braden giving it an actual answer there? I'm
I don't know.
confused.
I believe so. Yeah, I mean it's social, social construct of like history.
I know, but I hate it.
It's not
Oh.
the answer. It's like hey, I think if we were to continue down this hallway, we might run into a door that if we went into, we'd find a room where somebody might know the actual answer.
Then how come I studied math and not Pythagorean theorems 101? I studied math.
Because there's more
The
than
class
just
was
the
called math.
Pythagorean theorems.
There's more than just social studies.
How many theorems are there?
What
Is
about
there?
fireworks?
I mean, history is society, which is social.
you can take my history away from my cold dead hands.
Listen,
Why?
whatever,
Why?
metric man.
Why am I getting that scene from Billy Madison? Where you know exactly where I'm going with this. Where he's like, what you had just said makes no sense whatsoever. And we
These
are
are
all that
facts.
dumber for having listened to it.
No, that's from old school.
No, stop.
Isn't it?
Stop it. No, that's
During a
Billy
debate?
Madison.
That's Billy
Oh
Madison.
no, it is Billy.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
the
it is Billy
debate.
Madison. I was thinking of the debate in old school. You're right. You're correct.
I
I'm
was thinking.
absolutely correct.
I was jumping to Happy Gilmore and just thinking, you can pry this gold jacket from my cold.
Yeah,
dead
that's what I was
hands."
going with. All right, but wait, Dan actually had a question
what was-
for.
What was Stan's Maker News?
Oh yeah, I actually have maker news.
You said it was a question,
Uh,
though, so you have to ask a question.
What if
Ooh,
you were to find an amazing resource for laser engraving resources on YouTube?
As long as it was resourceful.
that sounds like news in the maker community.
I had
Tell
to make
us
it
about
into
your
a que-
resource.
I had to make it into a question.
It's
So-
like Jeopardy.
Yeah.
So
what is resources?
What is
found
Dan's
this,
YouTube feed?
I found this channel on YouTube called Laser Engraving 911, and I think a lot of our listeners are probably gonna already be subscribed to this guy because he has a ton of subscribers. But I just found him personally, and he just released a 20 amazing resources for your laser engraving business. And it was a phenomenal video. It's like 50 minutes long, and he dropped a bunch of information. It is very well worth the watch. I shared it in our group chat, and I don't think it got the recognition it deserves. So
Oh, this is the Timu Laser Mic Coffee.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that out loud, but yes, yeah, it's really a great resource for a laser engraving business. So go
Yeah.
check it out.
I was listening to some of that earlier, and that seemed like good stuff. I am subscribed as well. Good stuff in there.
It's good
Yeah.
stuff. I'd like to point out though that 411 is the number for information. 911 is I needed
It's
the
an
information,
emergency.
but it has all gone wrong.
I think he's
Welcome
too
to
deep
Laser
in.
911. Check out YouTube. It's almost like looking up how to do CPR on YouTube. Why
Yeah,
are you
but
playing
I
the
hate that
ads?
I hate
Don't
that that's
play
a good
the
point.
ads.
I hate that that's a good point.
At least it's not like trying to look up a recipe when you're cooking and like the first half of it is just BS and like story of like, so when I was 18 years old, my mother taught me how to like, just give me the recipe. It's like, tell me how to CPR.
Yeah, forget like encrypting your data. You just need to put it behind any sort of recipe on the internet and
Yeah.
your secrets are safe.
Oh, I learned, sorry, this is not maker news, but I learned a trick from Emma, who apparently looks up recipes all the time. There's usually a button or some kind of link right at the top of the page that says, take me to recipe.
Oh.
Meanwhile, I have been scrolling for 36 years
Bro,
at the bottom.
did you I shared a TikTok with you guys of like a cooking influencer. Did you not watch that
No,
video, that TikTok?
I may have not. When was this?
I did.
You really should.
Was it
You
was that the
really
one
should go
today?
watch that.
Yeah.
I was in New
the
York all
lemon
day, so
the lemon linguine.
Yes.
That was a really good looking recipe.
It
lemon
was a good looking
linguine.
recipe. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that I looked up that chef. They used lemon in a lot of their recipes. I think it's because it's fun to say zest. You need to zest a lemon.
Nice little chicken
that was an
Frenches.
instant subscribe to the TikTok channel and follow, subscribe, whatever it is.
Actually, I have a
We're
question. Dan, what is your take on chicken franchise and penne vodka?
You
How
had
do-
me at vodka.
But penne.
Oh,
Vodka.
something is like, I think North Korea is bombing us right now currently.
You have sirens going off?
I just hear a lot of bombs.
Well, the reason I was asking, because you were talking about lemon and chicken franchise is like the lemon chicken that is at every freaking wedding ever. And so is the penne vodka. So
Oh,
I'm like, I don't know if
yes.
you were sick of it because being at
Actually,
every wedding.
no.
I do that. Those are like comfort foods for me. Like a nice little
Here in the Midwest, the cheap out for like wedding dinners is like pulled pork sandwiches
Sounds
and
nice.
just like really basic fare like that, like pulled pork, mac and cheese, scalloped potatoes, stuff like that. I'm sick of that.
Doesn't sound
Scalloped
bad.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Scallitators.
Eye of round, but cooked like ribeye.
No, I would be okay with that actually. I'd be okay with that.
Come get your sloppy joes. Congrats to the happy couple and their nuptials.
Nuptials?
Their nuptials.
Nuptials.
Nuptials. Nepshua.
Anyways, laser engraving 911. Go check it out.
Yeah, go check that out. I guess we should do this segment that we haven't done in like a decade, it feels like.
What?
Oh, wait. That's turned down.
What's on my bench? Oh my god.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Dan, you ready or should I toss it to Braden?
No, I want to go last because of the thing.
Oh, because of the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No
right.
idea.
The new segment.
Oh, yeah. Dan. Go. I'm
Dan's going last.
Sorry.
Dan wants to go
Braden,
last because he wants to-
Braden, go.
yeah.
Sorry. Go.
Dan wants to audience test the new segment. So
All right. Braden, go.
I've been in like this little world of bliss right now where I have no commissions. I've got no customer orders. So I am not working on anything specific for a customer project wise. So what I'm doing is I'm taking an opportunity to do one of those things that I always tell myself I'm going to do. I'm building a piece of furniture for myself. I got myself a nice little stack of walnut. Walnut. And I have wanted a media console for down here in our basement forever, like since we moved into this house, because right now I've got this $800 Sonos soundbar sitting on top of a stool Like it's just like hanging like wings out on top of a stool, like a bar stool. So I'm starting that. I've got everything. It's been kind of sitting around as I draw up some ideas, pulling a lot from like Four Eyes in terms of like the angles and the geometricness. So I'm really excited about doing that. Only thing that I've got going on with the business in like the last 2 weeks is I got my first return ever. I've never had a return up until just now. And I leaned into the internet and like what's popular. I made some Haktua hats.
How many did you make?
I've sold 2.
Haktua?
I've made Haktua hats.
And Hakwana got returned.
And a Hakwana got returned. And the reason why it said was too small. And I wanted to deny the return and respond back saying, it's a snapback dip hoop.
I was hoping it said like doesn't fit. So like it'd be like, what do you mean it doesn't fit? We're like, well, it doesn't work with my khakis.
I bought this.
What
for, like,
annoys
a really
me the
formal
most?
outfit.
What annoys me the most with that is it is a snapback hat, obviously. So if somebody with that size of noggin has ordered that hat in the past, they clearly have. This isn't new to them. They should have known that it was gonna be this way.
What I think probably happened is either one of two things. One, the hat got delivered while they were out of the house, probably running errands or something, and their wife got it, opened it up. It was like, no.
What is this?
What is this? Why is there a llama saying?
You know
spit on
I
that
hate
thing?
llamas. You know I hate llamas.
Yeah, and that
My
was
mom
the
was
thing.
murdered
See,
by a llama. No.
I'm trying to like I'm trying to toe the line of like mildly respectful while also just leaning into the fact that it's Haktua, like it is what it is. Mine has a little llama on it and it says spit on that thing. Get it? Because they spit.
Yeah, llama spit.
Yeah.
Is it llamas or alpacas that spit?
I'll pack a bag and get on out of here.
We'll ask Adrian after the show.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's option number 1 is that happened. They got caught. Option number 2 is the officially licensed Haktua merchandise is now available. The Haktua girl partnered with some swag manufacturer.
Yeah,
in
she's out and
Tennessee.
about now. She's
she's doing the interviews.
Yeah.
She's riding her 5 minutes of fame and
good on her for that. Actually,
yeah.
I mean, I respect the heck out of the whole like riding the coattail or like the wave or whatever, but like also at the same time, what a dumb thing to be famous for. But like go for it. Because that's no, I'm not hating on it, but I'm just like trying to be logical about it. I'm also like being like, this is so silly that she's gonna like tour for the next like 6 months doing different podcasts.
It's silly and it's dumb, but you know what? We've talked about it for I think this is our 3rd week.
I hope we go viral
bringing
like
it
that
up.
one day.
Yeah. If I go viral for saying something super dumb, you guys best believe I'm slapping whatever I said on hats, bumper stickers.
If you go
Good
viral
luck.
for saying something dumb, we're canceling you like
So
instantly.
good luck because me and Dan have been
No.
trying for 4 years and nothing. And we say
Guys.
so much dumb stuff.
We say so many dumb
So many dumb things.
Just grab onto my coattails and ride them to the top. You guys can be my posse. You guys can be my backup dancers to Beyonce. You can be my Destiny children. But
Can I be Kelly?
hey, Dan, you can be whoever you want, baby.
I'm calling Kelly Rowland.
I dibs on Tupac.
You don't understand how this works. This is so
I
sad.
don't know. Sorry. I'm not that good at my social studies.
Listen, as long as we're all winners, we're all good here. But yeah, so my thought is, hey, either they got caught and they got ashamed, or they wanted to go legit with their stuff. So,
or they
as of
just
right
got a
now,
huge noggin.
or there's somebody
Yeah.
running around. Yeah, but I've got a huge noggin and I still have a couple snaps on all of mine. Like these are the normal
It's not that big.
Wu-Tang, Whoopoo.
Wu
Like, it's the
Tang.
normal ones. I can't remember what the.
Yeah, the Wu Tang surf prep hats. Yeah.
Let's see. What are they?
Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to grit with.
Wupung. What? Yupung. Yupung.
You can't say that on the radio. or
It's the
podcast.
Richardson 112 step down. It's one step above the Deckies, but one step below the Richardsons.
The Deckies.
Yeah, it's the
Is it- is
Nissan
it-
Altima of hats.
Is that like the Walmart brand of Dickies?
This is Target brand. It's not name brand outlet mall.
Oh,
but
it's
also not
the type
Walmart.
of brand that I actually dress up for and don't go shopping in my pajamas.
Let's just say people that are buying all of their stuff from Temu, they look at this brand, they're like, "Whoa, easy there, big bucks." But the people that are buying nice things, they're like,
so did you hear? This is kind of to jump back because you mentioned this. Back to Maker News. Apparently, Amazon is gonna try to compete with Temu and Sheen, whatever the other
Sheen.
the other Temu offshoot, for sub $20 items that are gonna be basically pretty much all like coming from China. So it's gonna take a while to get, much cheaper. So they're gonna try to release something to kind of try.
Actually,
to keep up with
I got a little information there
Ooh,
because,
right
as
here.
you know, I'm a Temu proficient. Yeah, whore. I was gonna try to like bring up a word that was like
unofficial
more
spokesperson.
classy sounding, but whore is correct.
Temu call girl.
No, you know what? You would have to get paid to be a horse. So
I got an actual email from Temu and they want to pay me, but I haven't responded back. So whatever.
Dan is a Temu groupie.
Anyway, Temu now has what they call local warehouses. So I ordered something from Temu. So I ordered some spatula bits, which I order from Amazon anyways. And I got them from Temu for like $10 less for like a pack of 5. So I went ahead and ordered them from them, and they came from an Amazon warehouse. When I ordered them,
Really?
they
Okay.
came through an Amazon warehouse.
Wait,
Yes.
the
So,
Amazon ones or the ones from Temu?
The ones from Temu that I
Wow.
bought,
Okay.
they came from an Amazon warehouse.
Interesting.
So I think that is fascinating.
So what we're learning here is Temu is buying the Amazon basics stuff and shipping it to you in country, and Amazon is buying the Temu stuff and shipping it to you. They're just buying each other's inventory.
That's fine with me as long as I get it cheaper one place over the other. That's fine.
That's the thing. Like, I get it, like commercialism.
Oh, wow.
Capitalism
Can
is
Braden
just,
be the new Daniel?
Let's do capitalism.
that was
Oh, man.
a hard word.
Brayden, you're
capitalism.
sober. You have no excuses.
Right?
It's been a long day.
Dan's a gallon into probably more at this point, into a
Gallon
chelada.
and a half of chelada.
Yeah, so Dan's at baseline chelada. But that's kind of where we're at. Like, we're at the point where every single company is like racing to the bottom and it's pushing out like the mom and pop shops and all that. Do you guys ever like kind of feel like, hey, I'm exhausted from trying to like fight the fight and buying from the little guy?
Yes.
Heck it, like I'm just going with the cheapest option because at the end of the day,
Yes.
like I can't afford anything anyway.
I've been doing that since 2014. I mean, yeah.
I was talking to Aretha yesterday, and I'm just like emotionally exhausted from trying to like fight the battle of social causes everywhere at all times. And I think that where my money goes is going to be the first domino to like I'm just going to give up on. Like I'm at the point I'm going for disposable garbage. I don't care as long as it like launches the feel good feelings in my brains that like shopaholism brings about. It's kind of where I'm at.
Oh, I get it. I get it 100%. I'm there. I'm right there with you. I feel like I've been doing that since 2014, 2015, at least. Yeah. I'm all on the outside. I'm all like, oh yeah, support small, but you know what? It's whatever's cheaper.
Except my
When you-
ZCIs. I want
when
those
you-
domestic.
Yeah, domestic,
Yeah,
domestic, small,
Yes,
homegrown,
support small. Right there.
super small, corn
Please.
fed.
Please.
But no, it's when you're a small business, there's certain compromises you make, I think. You know, if you're like, there's no like sustainable, if it's not even a sustainable thing, it's just more of like, do I get big box store? Or do I get this from a small distributor? Like, I'm just like, if I need to get boxes, they're boxes, whatever. If I need to get poly envelopes, it's poly envelopes. If I need to get like packing peanuts, okay, I'm going to get maybe the nicer ones or whatever, you know, but there's a lot of stuff that you're just like, I'm going to get the crap anyways. Let me get the crap at the cheapest rate. Not crap, but like, you know, it's like a consumable stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Because
I get it.
When you're a small business and you're selling your wares on somewhere like Etsy, so to speak, you're getting nickel and dimed everywhere possible. So if you could save a nickel and dime somewhere else, it just makes sense.
Also, if you can, you know, there's a fine line between saving money and building cheaply. And I think we're all trying to save money in areas that aren't directly impacting the physical item that you're getting. It's all the shipping, it's maybe the equipment to make it or whatever, but the final product is just as good as it was. We're saving money on the things that don't matter to the quality of the finished item. So that it doesn't compromise quality. It's not like Dan's suddenly like, I'm just going to start staining pine. Like, no, which honestly, more labor.
Yes, it's more labor, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry, we kind of went off the rails. Braden, this is your what's on the bench. Keep going.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, I'm doing the media console, and I got my first return. That's about it. I was trying to keep it tight, and then let's go into social issues. So,
that's what we do here.
Dear sweet Pete, what you got?
Well, I just got a text message from my dear wife and the admin for AWP, Emma Kapar. She dropped some maker news on me.
Oh, no, she went into labor.
No, she's not making a baby right now. But 100 years ago, on this 4th of July, we're celebrating 100 years of the Caesar salad. Apparently,
that's the news I'm here for.
Yeah.
Really?
An Italian immigrant, Caesar Cardini, was said to have invented the Caesar salad on July 4th, 1924, in his restaurant in Tijuana, which I'm like, is this like an Italian town? Is this in Mexico?
Wait,
what? Literally, this is
Tijuana, Missouri.
Tijuana, Missouri. And by the way, the salad was originally made by getting stabbed by 100 knives. That's how they chopped it up. Like Caesar's death, because that's the joke. Yeah, you have to be there.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. Wait, hang on.
Are you making this up right now, or? Oh,
had to do that. No, she just literally sent that to me. I'm like, oh, maker news. This is stupid. Let's do it. So, all right, my what's on the bench. I finally, so last week I wrapped up those ice climbing tools. I had a moment.
We need
a
golf clap sound effect.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna stall. Clap.
Pete's getting an extra, like a whole new Steam Deck for Christmas so that he can have more sounds.
There you go. Golf clap. We got it. We have the technology, guys. So let's talk about Braden. You've been doing a production job recently. What if you have a bunch of inventory, it's all finished, and the customer is not responding?
Ooh.
So to clarify, I'm just going to start with the end. He picked up the order, all that stuff. Like, that's all good now. But there was about a week where I didn't hear anything. And I was like, hey, let me know when you want to pick this batch up. Or like, I'm around this week. Or like, hey, I'm here this week. And it was nothing. And I got a little like, what's happening? But then I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting on over 5,000, like probably $10,000 of their inventory, like wholesale, not wholesale, but like retail value. So like, it's not like they're going to just ghost me, but, so we wrapped up that job. I was kind of sitting on it. I had a couple of days of like, what's going on? You know, it's a little scary because you're just like, what do I do? Do I sell these?
It's not like you can sell those. I mean, they're pretty one-offs. They're very specific.
There's not just like one company that's got the whole monopoly on ice climbing in America.
Pete is the company.
They're kind of the one. It's kind of silly. It's a very niche thing, but no, like it worked out. Like they were just busy. They didn't answer in time, but it was it got me thinking of like, man, what if you are doing a job where, you know, in this case, at least they sent me all the materials. So they ordered it from Send Cut Send, all the material, everything I assembled, did all the work. So it's not like I was out for material. You know, I wasn't out $5,000 for material plus job, whatever. Like, but if you're in that situation where you're like Braden, you're ordering 500 boxes and you laser them, and then suddenly the customer is just like not responding, and you're sitting on 500 boxes that say like Dance Team Emporium or something, and what do you do with that? You know, you can't.
I think in that situation where you're having to order all the product and everything up front, you need to get paid up front.
Yes, yeah. I guess that's a good point. I mean, which I'm doing the 50% deposit anyways. But it was still
but
like
you're just like you're 100% labor on that job, right?
Yeah, exactly. So literally like that payment is, so they still owe me the final, because not everything was there. So there's still a couple pieces that they need to send me to finish assembly on some of the like the leather, or not the leather, the rubber straps and things like that. But that's the nice thing is the main part of the job is done. The lasering's done, sanding, all that stuff. I'm finished with it. It's just a little bit of assembly that needs to get done at the end, which is super simple. I can just crank it out in a couple hours, just sitting there watching Seinfeld or whatever kids do these days. And I just kind of took the week off. Like after losing my shop for months, I took the week off from the shop and I did like some stuff around the house, like landscaping, planted some trees, like just enjoyed well, it was a little hot here, but like just took a week off, and man, it felt so good. The whole time I felt guilty. I felt like I needed to be in the shop doing stuff daily, but it felt really good to do other crap. Like I literally spent an entire like afternoon just doing admin stuff for just a podcast.
Thank you.
It's hours of work of just like sit down and like, you know, we like changed the bank. So like we got to figure out all the card, this card needs to be changed and this needs to be changed and this address is wrong. And like, let me update Patreon. Oh, we're not listed as hosts. A couple of weeks ago, Dave with his magical little rabbit AI toy that he has, that like orange
3D
thing.
DIY Dave.
3D DIY Dave was like, hey, tell me about another host of another Woodshop podcast. And like, it couldn't find us. And I'm like, WTF, why are we not coming up with AI? And then I'm like,
so we're going to rectify that.
Yeah, we're going to rectify it.
We're not listed in the yellow pages. That's why.
So I called up the yellow pages. Phone number was disconnected. Embarrassing for them. But then after that, I went to Buzzsprout and I updated our logos our pictures. We're listed as hosts. There's little bios in there. We listed our websites. Dan briefly forgot that he had a website.
that one's on auto pay.
Actually made me laugh pretty hard. We need to finish doing our IMDb, eventually the nice, Wikipedia page. We're working on it. We're trying to get out there and like, we're not going anywhere. We want to keep doing this stuff for you guys, but admin stuff takes up so much time. It's such a mind-numbing thing.
It really does.
How wild is that? Like just low grade stress though, of I could be doing something that is more productive when you're not, like when you're taking, because like that's basically what I've done the last week is I took the week off and I've just been in like low grade panic, fight or flight mode the entire time.
It's the how do I relax more productively?
Yeah.
Thing.
I should start a hobby. I wonder if I can monetize this hobby too.
It's so bad, man. It's so bad. Like every time I play video games, I'm like, I should be streaming this. And I'm like, no, this is your time, Peter. This is for you to be alone. Stop being an idiot.
Wait, you've been playing video games?
The single player, a lot of Factorio. You build factories and you automate.
Wow.
And a lot of math and ratios and things like that.
That sounds awful.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
And you're not inviting Dan? He's the math guy.
I might be acoustic, man.
No,
I love that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm not playing Helldivers because did you hear 90% of their players are gone now?
Yeah, because 90% of their players can't get their buddy Pete to join on to murder bugs.
Well, also PlayStation did all that shisty stuff to ban a bunch of people. Anyways,
we just talked about everything is shisty. The companies are trying to take over. At this point, I don't care. I'm just here to shoot a gun in video games.
A little man. Yeah, I know. I get it. But
the end times are near.
End times are nigh. But aside from that, so this last weekend was kind of stressful. It wasn't as relaxing as I would like. That's why I'm really, really looking forward to 4th of July. I'm off tomorrow and I'm off this weekend. I'm super stoked. But this last weekend, we had Emma's birthday, not birthday,
Baby shower?
baby shower. Sorry, I was like birthday shower. Birthday shower is Emma's baby shower.
Birth
And
shower.
while the girls were inside doing their thing, I was outside in 90-degree weather, babysitting the husbands. One of them was a young gentleman named Justin Bailey, up and coming woodworker and supermodel, and his son Theo and my buddy JP. So we're just like hanging out. I was smoking brisket and pulled pork butt all day, guys.
Do you roll it or do you use like a bong?
Bro.
Gravity bong.
I put it in a grinder. I spin it a bunch of times, and then I roll it into a hoagie roll, and then I roll that roll. But dude,
That reminds me, little tangent.
yeah.
Off the cuff here. Did you guys ever get the beef jerky, shredded beef jerky, like in a chew can?
Oh yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
You could put it in your lip. You're
So
like,
I got some chewing tobacco.
We're
I'm a
not teaching
badass.
kids bad habits.
Yeah.
do
Same
they
thing with
still
like the
make that?
shredded
Do
bubble
they still
gum.
do that?
I don't know, but they should do Big League Chew Jerky.
I'm in.
Big League Jerky.
Chew Jerky. But so listen, I this is my fourth brisket, because brisket is not a cheap meat cut to like practice on. The cheapest one I've gotten was like $30. The last two that I've gotten were like $70 and $90 because it's like a giant cut of meat.
Yeah.
If you mess
expensive.
that up, you're screwed. So I was smoking it on Saturday for the family barbecue. So Emma's family, like she's like one of 26 cousins. Like they're like Mormons. There's so many of them. I don't mean to offend any Mormons out there, but there's a lot of kids out and families. And there's so many of them, and I'm like, I want to impress the family. I want to do a good job. So I smoked a brisket, and when people were like, why don't you smoke it overnight? This morning there was a giant bear in my driveway.
Oof.
Literally
I
like went
saw
to my
that.
shed to like, because that's what
Like
all the food and the garbage bags and stuff are
when you say
in
a
the shed.
giant bear, are you talking about like a shirtless dude standing in your driveway?
Let's just say the bear den is closed for renovations, and they came to my house. They came a knocking because he went
Hey,
straight for the
Pete.
shed, and he was like, "Oh, door's closed." And then as I was driving to work this morning, I saw that my neighbor's trash was all over his driveway. I'm like, he found it.
So when you saw that on the security feed, did you Winnie the Pooh your pants?
I almost did. Yeah. Because I was like, dude, I walked out of the house and I'm like, I'm going to leave the door open while I go to the car. And I did like a look both ways, make sure I'm safe, put my stuff in the car. And I ran back and closed the door, ran back again, looked both ways, went into the car. Dude,
What kind of bears are those?
The best kind.
best kind of bear? Black bear.
Black bears.
Damn it, you ruined it.
Sorry, Dad.
Beats
that's why I will
Battlestar
not-
Galactica.
I will not leave a smoker running overnight because it's on a wooden deck and we have bears. And I don't want them to knock it over on my kindling of a deck that I need to rebuild.
Make sure to look both ways before crossing the street, or you might get hit by a bear.
Bear. But one little thing about the Saturday, that day at least, it wasn't a smoking meat, it wasn't a gift, so everyone was great to have him there, but it was the fact that I had Adrian from Hickory Homestead Creations. She was at the party, and so was Justin, and these are strangers we met on the internet. It was another one of those moments of like, these are people that we met on the internet, they're completely rando, and now they're a big part of my life, and it's really nice to like have these people around, like you guys were invited, but just not really.
I was
You're
gonna say, Dan, did you see an invite show up in the mail?
I got an invite, but like the day before, and
You
I live
technically-
1,500 miles away.
Here's the
so-
thing. You weren't invited officially because of Nick Bram and the beep machine that he put in my car for a 13-hour car ride home from Workbench Con. I rest my case.
Listen, our affiliation is outside of just the Oma Bros, so I believe that one of our other professional affiliations should have gotten us the invite either way.
Oma Bros LLC Co. got banned as a whole. Sorry, you just fall into that. But anyways, Sunday came. That was the best brisket, best pulled pork, and best ribs I've ever made in my life. Everyone was very happy, and I can't wait to make it for you guys when you guys come out. That's gonna be awesome. We're gonna do some meal preps, and we're gonna have freaking brisket and ribs and pulled pork the entire time we're at Workbench Con. It's gonna be nice.
Sounds amazing.
I can't wait. But anyways, I've basically just been taking a week off. A lot of honey-do list stuff. Dan, I want to hear what you've got on the bench and maybe your new segment.
I got a lot of things on the bench. Obviously, it's a lot of Etsy orders as per usual. Like I said before, I think, gosh, it's been several weeks since we done what's on my bench segment, I feel like. But the furniture aspect of my Etsy business is really starting to take off. So I'm doing a lot of tables and end tables, and it's not just slide tables right now. It's the narrow tables, it's the slide table version 2s, it's the slide tables, it's bar stools, it's beds. I've been selling beds. So yeah, I'm very busy with that. My shop helper that I've had through the summer, he's on his family summer vacation for the next 2 weeks, which kind of sucks for me, right? Yeah, I know.
What is this kid? Quarter time?
He's part-time. He's not a full-time employee, which is fine. I knew that coming into this. It's fine. My wife has said that she's gonna come into the shop and help me. So she was in the shop helping me, I want to say like 2 days ago. She sanded a few things. She would sand a little bit, and she would go out and sit in the lawn chair and look at her phone for an hour, and she'd come back and sand. She's very helpful.
So she was working at 100% Dan capacity.
Yeah, super super helpful.
Hey, at least when you check your phone, it's work related.
Nice. Exactly. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Love you. Hi. I didn't realize she was down here. Hey. Oh, this is awkward.
Dan.
But we're live streaming the end of Dan.
Things are
Dandemonium.
Things are very busy around here. And it's just getting more and more busy. So, but that I don't have a whole list of things to talk about like Braden and Pete. But that brings me to my new segment that I wanna do on a weekly basis, because I feel like I could fill this every week. It's called, what are we gonna call this?
What did you say?
That maybe.
No.
Kenny, chill.
Crap I gotta deal with on Etsy.
Yeah.
We need to workshop the little soundbite segment thing. So this past week, I went on a camping trip with my family up in Minnesota. My brother turned 40. He lives in the Minneapolis area. So I took my kids and my mom up to the Minneapolis area in my camper. It's like a 6-hour drive from my house. So we went up there. Long story short, it was awful. Anyways,
you were not selling it. I asked you, like, hey, how was your trip? Fine.
It wasn't awful in the fact that like I spent time with my brother. It was just like an awful camping experience. We had the toilet leaked. There was rain. It was just really bad. Like it could have been better. Anyways,
it could have been intense. You could have been intense on the ground, sleeping and raining.
Yeah, this is true. I guess
you could have been Patrick Ginseling.
Yeah, or
on the
Justin
top
Bailey.
Of Mount Hood?
Well, he would have been on
the top of my car.
No, he was on top of Mount DeVille, if you know what I mean.
You could have been you could have been Coltoning. You're same situation as Patrick, except you're drunk and your tent is completely collapsed.
And then you're fully sober the next day and not hungover at all.
That sounds awful.
Colton has the metabolism of a saint.
But anyway,
so back to the segment. What did I call the segment? Crap I got to deal with on Etsy.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So a gentleman orders a Ryobi miter saw insert from me. I send him a Ryobi miter saw insert, a 10-inch miter saw insert. To be more specific, it's a TSS-100L insert, which is their 10-inch miter saw.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows it.
And that's the modern green body one, right?
Yes.
Yep.
However, However, they had the same model number for their 1990s version of the blue and yellow miter saw. But in my pictures on Etsy, it is the bright green or bright yellow modern version with all the pictures provided. So this guy orders the insert from me. He gets it. He sends me a message while I'm in Minnesota. I can't respond because I'm like in the middle of nowhere. And then he sends me another message on Sunday night saying, "Hey, I got this insert. It doesn't fit my saw. What should I do?" I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. He sends me pictures. It's the blue and yellow miter saw from the 90s. Bro, why did you think that the modern insert that I sell is going to fit your 1990s saw? This saw is 30 freaking years old. 30.
In his defense, it's the same part number.
I was gonna say, Dan.
I mean,
I
yeah,
love
but
you, Dan. I'm always on your side, like literally always on your
Yeah.
side, without question.
I agree. Yes.
However, I don't think this one is a customer's a moron problem. I think this is a Ryobi is a moron problem.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just
that's
the
a
same
bad move
model
on
I think it's
Ryobi.
number.
both. I think it's both, frankly, because you could look at the pictures and see the difference. There is a massive difference in the color, in the shape.
But what about
everything.
maybe the insert itself? It looks pill shaped. It's gonna fit, right? So like,
No,
I don't. Here's the thing. I
No.
don't disagree with you, but I also think this is a Ryobi issue.
Yeah,
it's a both. It's a both issue.
fine.
It's a
Also-
both
wrong.
issue.
Also, to be fair, this is like the
To be
tip of the
fair-
iceberg of what Dan's dealing with. Like the
Yeah, yeah.
messages we
can't
get from Dan
expect-
are,
you
are
cannot
insane.
expect that your 30-year-old saw hasn't changed.
I would if it was the same model number.
No. Your
love you.
30-year-old Toyota Camry has changed
Same muffler.
since
Same muffler.
1990 to 2024.
Same
You
lug
can't
nuts.
you can't expect that it hasn't changed. You can't.
You've changed, Dan.
I've become
No,
more
listen.
bitter.
I
I've become
I just
more
love
bitter.
that. Like this is the example. Dan
Oh,
deals with.
I'll have more.
Dan
weekly.
has
I
way
got-
worse examples. I mean, we've all heard it. Like,
Yeah, this is like the most polite, like most even keeled example. Dan deals with like he deals with people on Etsy that remind you that we just give out driver's license willy-nilly to people. And then we let
Yeah.
them procreate and we let them vote. Like, and these people are just out there wandering among us. And you just worry about the survival of the species.
Like,
Like
what was-
those are the people buying from Dan on Etsy.
my favorite, most recent one was somebody messages you and be like, I ordered oak and these are metal. And you're like, I don't sell those. Those aren't from my shop, you idiot. Like,
Oh
it's-
yeah. I got
They're like some
I
like
got-
package from like some brand, not
Yeah, I
from
think they
somebody
were, like,
ordered
Rockler.
somebody ordered some
boats,
walnut bow ties from
yeah.
me. They might have been
Oh,
oak. I don't know.
Or the lady
But
that
they sent me a picture of Wood River aluminum bow ties.
or the lady that bought the bed from you forgot that she hadn't gotten the bed and left you a subpar review of
Yeah.
the bed that you didn't send her.
That was so unhinged.
Yes.
Did
Yes.
she, what she
Stick
leave you like a
around,
3 or
folks.
4-star review, right?
Stick
little
around.
little
Yeah.
harder to
Yeah,
get
it
together
was
than I
it was a
expected.
3-star review. Stick around, folks. This is only
Yeah.
gonna get
No,
better.
I think this is a good one. I think we're gonna showcase silly customer complaints. I'll be nice about it.
You're,
Welcome
you're
to-
being way
welcome to
nicer
Ed-
than me.
Yeah, welcome to Etsy Maker Tech Support.
Idiot. I need to get that like Napoleon Dynamite audio. Idiot.
Tina, come get some ham.
You fat lard.
I bet I could
Oh.
throw this steak a quarter mile.
Anyway, yeah, my bench is pretty boring. Same old, same old.
Oh, yeah, that camping trip that was so hard in your 30-foot
broke-
camper that's up for sale possibly now.
your broken turlet.
Turlet. Turlet.
Was it
it-
broken outside or inside?
Inside, it was
Oh,
the
that's the
fresh.
worst.
It was the fresh water inlet. So like it was
Oh,
it was fresh water that
Oh,
was leaking.
no.
So it wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't piss water.
I was
It
gonna
was
say
fresh water.
that could be so much worse.
Yeah. Agreed.
As someone
Agreed.
that's never slept inside a camper, I have zero sympathy for Dan.
Yeah, I think that was the camel that broke the needle's back.
The camel that broke the toes back. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Dan, how many bathrooms do you have in your camper?
Just one.
Okay. Yeah.
Plus
If
the
you
woods.
had two, I would rip you into one.
No, it's just one.
Who has 2 bathrooms in a camper? Jeff Bezos?
Some
No,
people.
Lee Oman.
Yeah,
Good
leave
lord.
Technically,
Lord.
it's their parents that are staying with them because he drove that like the USS camper.
The hat holder industry must be good.
Oh,
It's fair.
he's doing good. Also, I live for those videos of him and Danielle just going at it. Like,
Oh,
not like that, just like it's like
sassy
sassy
Danielle.
when they're just
Love
fighting.
those videos.
What'd you
It's
need another
hilarious.
joiner
Love.
for?
I need all of them.
Oh, there's some maker news. Did you guys see that Brunt released a Brunt toe version of the Omens?
Yeah,
The comp toe.
they
Compto?
actually
Yeah.
the Compto, so the steel toe version of the shoe after many requests. They've also been
Yeah,
releasing.
what is that exactly? It's not a steel toe. It's what is it? A
It's a
Kevlar toe?
composite.
It's like a composite toe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, that makes
Kind of
sense.
like what Timberland
Composite.
does as well.
But you won't get magnets stuck on it.
Timberland or Timberlake?
Timberland. the
Timberland.
boots.
Oh,
But yeah, you can wear those through security at the airport. You cannot wear indestructible shoes because those are straight up metal toes.
can you
Ask
wear them
me
through
how I
security, or do you have to take them off?
You You
TSA
can wear them
pre-check.
through security if you got TSA,
TSA
pre-check,
pre-check.
baby.
Heyo.
There you go, man. I gotta say,
So
so
proud.
Ooh.
will
By the
say-
way,
Yeah.
TSA pre-check. I got official confirmation that I've been approved.
yeah, baby.
Dang.
I'm just waiting on my official documentation.
They looked
America.
up Daniel Dunlap
TSA.
Woodworks on Instagram. They're like, yeah, no, he's American. He's
Yeah,
good.
he's-
He's good.
Look at your
Approved.
flip flops. Yeah.
So we'll have to go and edit my flight information
Oh,
with my TSA pre-check.
that's easy peasy. I got you, baby.
All right.
Lemon squeezy.
I can't wait for us to all walk through the rich people line at Epley Airfield and take exactly the same amount of time to get through security.
Yeah, you gotta put on your like sunglasses, wear them through the whole thing until they're like, please take off your glass, put them in the bin.
We should get a boom box with some walk up music.
Regulators.
All my friends in the low rider.
Or just some Shania Twain blasting.
Any man of mine.
There we go.
Or just like, man,
Gotta-
feel
gotta-
like a woman. Just go up to TSA.
Nope. Nobody knew that any man of mine better walk the line meant the line to TSA pre-check.
I'm just imagining you take a full size boombox, you put it in its own plastic bin, speakers up, and it runs through the thing, and it so gets quieter and it gets loud again as it comes out.
If any brands are looking for sponsored content, I'm looking for partners
Yeah.
on this.
What's the suitcase company? Not Sennheiser. It's
Indestructible
Samsonite.
suitcase.
Samsonite. Yeah, Samsonite. If you're listening,
Slobbies.
we're on it.
Or that
Yes,
suitcase,
that was way off.
the suitcase company that makes those smart ones that just like follow you around. Have you guys seen
No,
those?
I want the one that you can sit on and you can ride it like a little moped.
That would get us in so much trouble.
So much trouble.
So much trouble. Hey, you guys want to drag race out in the woods on our
Yeah.
suitcases?
Or-
Also, Dan, can you please get a new suitcase? It's time.
oh yeah,
yeah.
that's your next- that's your
it's
next
already,
to-do list.
It's
But-
already on.
But I want you to do like a full Viking
works.
funeral, like a boat in the water, and you shoot an arrow.
Shoot an arrow, flaming arrow in
Yeah.
my suitcase in Lake Manawa.
And then the next scene is you getting a ticket for littering in a park.
It's
What
either
are you
gonna
doing,
burst.
sir?
It's either
A
gonna
Viking
burst into
funeral?
flames because of the years of whatever's in it, or it'll never light because it's permadam.
Actually, like, it'll probably never light.
Why is this bag sweaty.
Uh,
Stop asking.
Oh, let's get into questions. We're
Yeah,
gonna do
let's
another
get-
3-hour episode.
yeah, let's get into questions.
Go, Black Betty. Ramble lamb.
All right, let's start with this question from Alex Adams.
Hey guys, it's Alex at Type A Furniture, and I have a question for Dan. I saw that he was doing 2 CNCs at one time, and I wanted to ask Dan, how do you do 2 CNCs at one time? Like, I could barely even get 1 CNC, let alone 2. And, I'm a visual guy, so maybe you could, show me in the video version kind of how that works. Just to help me figure out, how I could even envision doing 2 CNCs at one time.
So Dan, can you show our audience on youtube.com/anotherwoodshop podcast how you work 2 CNCs at the same time?
How do you get them fired up? Just
Yeah.
both at the same time.
How do you get them going? Like get
I
them
think we
revved
broke-
up.
I'm
I think
gonna
we
be
broke
honest.
Dan.
This question confuses me. Is he being facetious, or
Yes.
does he want an
Face-
actual?
Thank you for saying facetious. Yeah, how do
Does
you
he-
get both of the machine? How do you get them both going at the same time? How do you focus on
just-
2?
I programmed them to run separately.
Ooh, talk slower.
Separately.
I don't. What do you want, Alex? I don't understand the question. Are you are you being dirty?
Are you starting them both at the same time, or are you like you're starting one while the other one's starting you?
Do you flip the switches or do you twist
Honest
the
answer.
knobs?
Honest answer, because I have no idea what the hell is going on right now. One CNC is set up for an 1/8 inch bit, and the other CNC is set up for a 1/4 inch bit, and I run them simultaneously for products that require one or the other bits, I guess.
Thank you for an honest answer, Dan. You might be
Uh,
too drunk for this bit.
I think that's the closest thing to a real answer that question was ever going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on here.
What I want to know, Alex, you need to do some more marketing. You need to drum up some more business because you're spending way too much time sending us content for our show and sending in bits and questions and skits. Like,
I'm here for it.
No,
we need to get you a
no,
hobby, buddy.
no. Don't stop though, Alex.
Oh yeah,
stop.
do not stop.
Yeah, much like
Don't
Dan
stop.
with his CNCs. Don't stop. Feels good. Anyways, next question from
You guys explain the joke to me. I don't. Clearly,
he wanted you to, with hands, act out like Braden and I did the whole time the question was playing, how you work 2 machines at the same time.
oh, you guys.
I
are
think
just-
it was like an
guys are
insuination of
just
like
dirty.
two chicks at
It's
the same
not
time.
an innuendo, it's an innuendo.
you guys are
Mm.
dirty.
Anyways,
dirty.
here's type
No.
from Furniture Design Co.
Hey guys, this is Type from Type A Furniture. That's first name Type, middle initial A, last name Furniture. And my question is about dust collection layout. Right now it's just me in the shop, so I just take the flexible hosing and hook it up to the machine that I am using. And I'm looking to make it a little bit easier on myself to switch between machines. So I know that there are a couple of different routes that I can go, but some of the considerations are that my shop space is a little bit narrow, so I have my machines on the sides of the shop, and then I roll them to the center, so I have more in-feed and out-feed before hooking up to the dust collector and using them. So I'm curious what you guys think about either, going the route of making it easier to move between machines with a single hose with something like one of those handled connectors or one of those magnetic snapping quick connectors, or if going the route of hooking them all to a flexible connection that gives me enough room to move them but switches between machines using something like blast gates or that dust collection manifold that Rockler sells. So I'm curious if you guys have any other suggestions or maybe some pros and cons that you can think of either of those setups.
Good question, Alex. I'm going to quickly comment on this because I use the heck out of these. the Rockler blue, the 4-inch hose that they sell, it is superior to the Amazon one, the PowerTech one. It is, I don't know what it is about it. It's thicker or something. I personally like it because it doesn't it doesn't shrink under vacuum as much as the other ones. So I tend to actually, like, I have a pretty easy time stretching it out to somewhere, even when it's just blowing full blast with my dust collector. My biggest issue with the Rockler dust collection system is that entire, like, all the heads on it, that 4-inch head, it's a 4 and like 1/8, which means you need an adapter, which they sell, coincidentally. Like, so you just need to buy an adapter and put it on all of your tools, which I think is a little annoying. So I 3D printed my own that just fit inside it, and they fit on every standard 4-inch adapter thing. So I just keep that inside. But what's annoying is I got to take that out anytime I use like the vacuum attachment. The other thing I'll say is use vertical supports for your hoses, because I ripped too many of those hoses on tool edges. And actually, one thing I'm going to be testing out that I just picked up from Rockler is their track system with the rails. And I'm actually going to mount it over my lever rack so that, like, when I'm sanding, it's always permanently just over my head, and it's actually going to swing around wherever I'm moving in the shop. So try to, if you're always kind of putting your tools in the center, run some kind of, whether it's, I literally have spots in my shop where there's just an anchor in the ceiling and there's chain hanging down, and I carabiner, like, clip into it to hang some hoses off my ceiling to keep it off the ground and out of the way. Highly recommend going with that, and then have a flex hose that you can attach to your tools. That's my recommendation. Dan?
Man, I don't know if I can answer this objectively. I currently have a Laguna P-Flex 1. Hate. The word hate is a understatement of how I feel.
You're not a
this.
fan.
Not a fan.
Okay.
Not a fan of it. I will say the P-Flex 1 that I have is an older model. It doesn't have the automatic, like,
I will say I have my new one. I have the new one, and it's phenomenal. So they've improved since Dan's version, which is a bummer that his is doing what it's doing.
Yeah, it clogs all the time. All the time. And it's a headache, especially when I'm running as much as I do. And to be fair, I run my drum sander a lot, which creates a lot of fine dust, which not inadvertently, what's the word I'm looking for? It obviously is going to get caught up in that HEPA filter, because that's what the HEPA filter does. It catches all the fine dust. But it's a huge headache, because when that HEPA filter clogs up, like, the whole dust collection system does not work properly. The suction capability is just, like, almost zero.
Yeah.
So I'm having to clean that thing out 2-3 times a week, which is
That's such a
massive
bummer.
headache. So at this point, I would say that going with the Rockler dust collection, where it's, like, at every tool, where you could change it to each tool, with the flex hose that Pete has. I think just move it to wherever you need it. I think that would be a good solution. I am talking with Harvey about getting a better dust collector, so it's in the very early stages, so I don't want to say too much, but
Mine arrives on Friday, Dan.
shut your face.
Dan's is going to be a
Bastard.
nickel-coated one, though.
Oh, mine's nipple coated.
Mine's gonna have Nickelback on it.
Apparently, mine was packaged by Kamani and Lindsay and a bunch of other West Coast makers. They were at the factory when they were boxing it up. So I'm going to inspect it before I sign.
Yeah, I would absolutely
that thing is
inspect
just full of
Shot.
Kamani farts.
It's going to be full of, like, cooties and whatnot.
Yeah, the outtake is just chock full of turds.
I will say, so, like, what Dan's talking about, like, Keith, for example, he has that, like, the Giro, Hero, Gyro, whatever, 700 or 800, and he runs it to all of his tools with a single flex hose with the
Yeah,
magnetic attachments. So he does do that. So like,
I'm
listen,
actually
good
thinking
solution.
about doing that, because one of the things that I wanted about that G700 is it's going to fit under my outfeed table on my saw, so it would take up less space.
You might have
I
to
would
elevate it a hair.
I might have to elevate it a little bit, but it's gonna like open up a huge footprint in my shop. And I'm thinking about taking down all the pipe in my shop, all the dust collection pipe, and running a hose to every machine. Not every machine. Running a hose and changing it as needed.
Like changing your drops.
Yes.
I just can't wait to see you get that main trunk out of the like highest traffic area of your shop, because you have
The
to duck
CNC.
to get into your CNC area. Yeah, like
You'll just have a pipe running straight up. That's
Yeah.
not too bad.
It's gonna be great.
I don't know. It's gonna be something. I don't know if I am the best person to talk about this, but Braden, what say you?
Dust collection is one of those things that it's really hard to like dial in perfect. So I don't think that you should put in anything like that's permanent, because it's a constantly changing kind of beast.
Yeah, it's an ever fluid thing, I feel like.
It flows much like the air through your dust collection. Couple of the things that I have done that have made things easier and a little bit cheaper is I really wish that I had maybe looked at doing the aluminum tubing, but I did PVC, and I did sewer level PVC. So like the green stuff, it's thinner than Schedule 40. It's a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier to work with, and you just buy the elbows. Do something like that. I'm a huge fan of Magport. I have the magnetic fittings on all of my tools, and so I actually have I've got a drop for my table saw, I've got a drop for my CNC, and then I have a couple of like hub drops is what I kind of call them, and they're blast gated out, and those hubs basically have 2 or 3 tools surrounding them, and I just use the Magports and I just switch it between whichever tool it is at the time. That's the easiest way for me to be able to keep like the headspace, so I'm not dropping like a hard line down. I like those. PowerTech hoses are perfectly adequate. You don't have to buy into the hoity-toity upper East Coast elite stance that Pete holds.
One of us.
But I like
the
this new
dog.
dog.
Did
This
the
new
dog just
dog
rip one?
he just maxed me.
Your
For a
face
second, I
went
was
through like 3 emotions. I just saw it all.
Well, the first
you got to bring Max into this.
because he was mustard gassing you out that a couple weeks ago, but yeah, for just a second I was like, oh my god, did that come out of me? No.
Am I leaking again?
But yeah, so try things out. PVC is a really easy way to get hard lines in. One thing that I really do like about getting hard lines in of some sort is you lose a lot of CFM the more flex hose you have in the system. So if you can get a main pipe or like a main line that's a hard line, and then bounce out to your flex lines through blast gates, you're going to save a lot of that air movement. I use the Cat's Moses blast gates. They're all wooden. So you can actually like CNC carve those out of 1/2-inch ply, and they work really, really well. So that's that's my bit.
I will say, so I use the PowerTech blast gates. I really like how thin the metal is on those, and because it does a pretty good seal. But I actually want to shout out Dan from Carbon Method, not Dan from Daniel Dunlap. Dan, but Carbon Method just released the lightning lock, and it is a magnetic fitting, but the one feature that it has that most of the other ones don't is it'll spin. And I felt one. I had it in my hands because Keith bought a set. It's freaking awesome. It's really nice. When it like locks, it like keys in, so it'll create a nice seal on there. but it'll also rotate, which sometimes is very important. If you're like moving around, sometimes the thing gets a little twisted up. So you got to like unhook it, turn around, and like hook it again. This thing will just naturally move with the tool if you're rolling it around the shop. So you're not getting that like weird coil, that like pigtail that will form sometimes. I think it's worth looking into. Go check them out. They have a bunch of different fitting sizes. I like have no affiliation with them. I think they're just really cool, and it was really well made. It's not a 3D printed part. Like Dan went in, he got it. What is it? He got a mold done for it or whatever. So it's like it's actual solid plastic, but it spins. It rotates on each side, and it feels like it has a really good seal on it. So I don't know. It might be worth looking into. Worth the extra few bucks.
That's the thing with the
Interesting.
maglocks too. Get the name brand maglocks. Like I love 3D printing. Like it's good for a lot of things. It just can't hold up to the abuse of what your dust collection systems are using. Whereas like the name brand maglock stuff, it's PVC and I think it's like injection molded, but like it's real solid. So
yeah.
Lightning lock.
question.
That sounds so exciting.
Lightning lock.
Lightning
bolt. Lightning bolt. All right. Speaking of lightning bolts, here's Jake Miller.
Hey guys, it's Jake with the Sweet Shop. Long time no call in, but was just calling in with a question about how you guys handle working through projects after they're completed. For me, one of the biggest things I struggle with is whenever I get done with a project, especially a large project, in my own head anyways, I completely destroy myself and nitpick every little detail and more or less beat myself up over the project. I'm not saying I'm necessarily a perfectionist by any means, because obviously I know working with wood, nothing's ever going to be perfect. But how do you guys deal with working through a project and, for lack of a better term, dealing with the flaws and kind of coming to grips with that and being okay with having flaws in your projects? Be interested to see what you guys think, and talk to you later, guys. Thanks.
Wow, Jake, actually, what a really good question. This could literally be a whole episode on it. All I'm gonna say is I am really bad at it, because even like the kitchen island we just finished up, I have such a hard time to not point out the mistakes to when people compliment me. Like that, my gut reaction, they're like, "Oh my god, this looks so good." I'm like, "Yeah, but I went too far with that screw and I like it came out, and like, or I dented that side, or but the paint isn't." They weren't asking that. Shut up, Peter. They were just complimenting you. Take the damn compliment.
Absolutely.
I have such a hard time not to point out the mistakes, because I think I'm talking about the woodworkers. I'm just talking to, normies that don't touch the bottoms of tables when they walk into a restaurant. But I beat myself up too, man. I'm a perfectionist, but I've also been trying to be more like, all right, F it. It's done. Production mode. We're done. This is good enough. Get it out is more important than being perfect. But sometimes I just can't get out of my own head, out of my own way. Braden?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen your work. I don't know why you're asking this question. Like, settle your ass down. Your stuff's phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, it's the same as Pete. Get out of your own way. End of the day, what we are doing as makers, we are doing something that like 95% of the population can't do, doesn't know how to do, doesn't do. So the things that you see as mistakes, it's not a bug, it's a feature, that sort of thing. Just, you have to stop beating yourself up about stuff that, just like Pete said, nobody is ever going to see that joint that's just not quite right, or the fact that you're at 89 degrees instead of 90, or nobody's going to see that stuff. If it looks good and if it functions, it is a good product. It's a good product. And wood is such a natural material that you're never going to get metal level machine precision with that material. So, just ride it out. Like, You're okay. It's good. Just pretend it's not there. Dan?
One of the signs of a good artist, creator, woodworker, what have you, is somebody that sees the flaws in their work, because that person is always going to strive to be better. And anybody who thinks that their work is flawless, they're a couple things. They're completely out of their mind. They're insane. And they don't think they're ever gonna be able to improve. So there's gonna be nowhere to go for that person. So the fact that you see flaws in your own work is, I feel like it's a good thing, because you're always going to strive to be better. And like Braden said, your work is actually phenomenal. I've seen your work. I've met you in person. You're a phenomenal person. You're a phenomenal woodworker. And the other thing is, like, nobody is going to see those flaws but you. They're there because you saw them happen. Okay? If you're making a piece and you're showing it off to somebody for the first time, that person is going to see the overall piece. They're not going to gravitate towards the tiny little flaw that you see. They're going to see the overall piece, and they're just going to be blown away by the work that you've done. And that's tenfold for somebody of your quality, your caliber. And I think that even happens, like, with somebody who's just selling crap on Craigslist. Not to talk down about them, but like, the quality of work is obviously two different levels. Even if you're doing subpar stuff, like, they're not going to see the tiny little imperfections that you see. They're going to see the overall thing. Hopefully that makes sense, what I'm saying. I just feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over.
No, it honestly, and Jake's been making some stuff more recently. He's been trying to post more of these finished projects that are, dare I say, one of them, like the big wine cellar cabinet thing, got me in trouble with my wife, because now she wants our pantry to look like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's not even just for wine, she just likes it, the aesthetic and everything. And he does really, really good work.
He does great work.
They're cranking out some big projects right now. So Jake, you're killing it, man. Don't kill yourself.
Let's say Pete is very proud of his island. It's a great island. It's phenomenal.
Island boy, I'm an island boy.
Any like normie who comes over there and sees the island, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is so great. But as soon as Pete points out the tiny little flaw that he made, yeah, it's great, but look at what I did. That's all that person is gonna see. They're gonna completely forget about everything, and they're only gonna focus on the flaw that Pete pointed out. And they're not gonna be able to see anything else. Don't point out your flaws. Let other people find them organically. That includes customers. And that may be detrimental to you in the long run, but I think nobody's going to notice it.
Yeah.
Dan, you brought up a good point that you are the only one that sees the flaws because you were there when they happen.
Yes.
Most of these flaws, your customers, they don't even know that they're flaws. Like,
no.
As far as they're concerned, it was supposed to be that way the whole time.
Exactly. It was there. It's a feature. It's not a bug.
Except when half of the pocket hole screw is sticking out of the opposite side of the board. That one's a little hard to sell away from.
Or when a customer
Absolutely.
sees sapwood on walnut and leaves you feedback that, like, the stain didn't absorb evenly. There's no stain, ma'am. Then they're just
well,
done. Yeah.
That's what I mean by it may be detrimental, but like most of the time, 99% of the time, nobody's gonna know that other than you.
Exactly. All right, let's keep moving because we're going here. So next question's from Thomas, and he's in France.
French. Hey guys, Happy July 4th from France. It's a bit early, but technically it's already the 4th here. Alright, so this summer I'm going to redo my entire shop and it needs to be more organized now that it's my full-time job. And most of all, I need a flat, smooth floor. What would be your three most important thing to have or do in your shop? And also, I'm thinking OSB for the floor with underlay. Anyway, is it a good or bad idea? It's cheap and it's flat. All right, bye.
So Tomas asking about he wants to redo his shop and he has a hard time. His floor is not even in flat. It's not flat. So he's thinking about putting some underlayment and on top of that putting some plywood or some OSB because it's cheap. Dan, what do you think about that as a solution?
I think it's an awful solution. Your OSB is only going to be as flat as your actual garage floor. I don't think it's going to work out. Unless you go through your shop and you somehow flatten what I can only assume is the concrete floor that's already there.
You could use like a self-leveling compound.
Well, yeah, you could do a self-leveling compound, but yeah, you're talking about a compound and not putting on a self-leveling OSB. That's not a thing that exists in the world. But if you're gonna do the self-leveling compound and then put OSB on top of it, like that's a self-leveling floor with extra steps, right? Like,
yep.
Why even put the OSB on at that point?
Braden?
I don't see a reason to do it.
First off, Thomas, 4th of July, you also get to celebrate because the French were allies of the rebels in the United States. Thank you.
Got that nice little statue from them too.
That's right.
What statue?
The one of Liberty.
Lady.
The Chimney Rock in Nebraska?
Wait.
No.
Anyway.
Lady Liberty.
I think if you want to flatten something, you would have to use some sort of self-leveling compound. I don't know how well a self-leveling compound would stand up to like the abuse of being used as like an everyday floor though. So that's where I would see like the OSB or like some sort of covering. That's where I would see it coming into play. I gotta say, I know OSB is cheap. Putting down an epoxy coating on my shop floor is by far one of my top 5 favorite things I've ever done in my shop. So if you're going through all the work to level it and redo the flooring anyway, I would say even just trying some of like the DIY kits for those epoxy floors and just do it right. OSB, you get, there's going to be moisture coming through the concrete and then you've got an organic material for a floor. It's going to rot.
I just feel like that's opening a whole world of problems.
Plus, you're already talking about maybe having bugs in like one piece of wood. We can't stick your entire shop in a kiln, so I would spend the extra money and maybe do an epoxy flooring, something like that. Pete,
I'm gonna go with a good, better, best answer here. The good solution, because none of these are bad. They're all bad, but they're not. All right. The good option is fill the holes yourself. Get self-leveling compound. Level it out as best as you can. I'm assuming you have big divots, big cracks, things like that. Level out whatever you can and just leave it at that. Maybe if you want to, also, I don't know if you own the house or not, if you own that garage or not, because that's the other thing that you got to think about. Usually if you fill some cracks and holes and stuff like that, owner might not mind. And if it's yours, great. That's the cheapest and quickest and easiest solution where, you're not going to get like permanent solution because the things are going to start chipping and whatnot. I do agree with Braden. The epoxy floor was one of the best investments, mainly because the moisture is trapped in the ground. It doesn't come up through the shops. So it really does help out. The floor doesn't feel wet. It's not as humid in there. Highly recommend. So that's the good option. The better option is not underlayment and OSB on the floor. You would do, if anything, underlayment down, strips of pressure treated wood, some kind, something that is good to be on raw concrete, and then basically a subfloor built on top of that. And you want to put it about every 30 centimeters, about every 12 inches for us Americans, because we won the war. So, like not like 16 on center, like it would be studs, something a little tighter, because you're going to be putting some heavy tools on there. You would want to elevate that floor. In America, we have a product that I'm blanking on the name. They're 2 foot by 2 foot tiles it's almost like a diamond plate on the bottom. It's like a plastic where it raises it up, and it actually is out of OSB. But on top of that, you would put some kind of plywood subfloor. That's if you're really trying to build a floor. I think there's nothing wrong with a wooden floor in a shop. I've worked in shops that are like old buildings and it's all wooden floors, and I think it's great. It creaks a little bit, but you need to elevate it off the concrete.
Wooden floor and OSB floor, that's two different things, though.
Well, OSB is the base, but he would need to put some kind of, even if it's 1/4 inch on top of that, full sheets on top of the OSB to stabilize it all. That's different story, but not just OSB itself is just too weak. It'll break, man.
The product you're thinking of is dry core.
Dry core. Oh yeah, that's what I think. One of them. I the one I used at my old house may have been a different name, but it's the exact same concept. It's just like this like elevated OSB floor. But anyways, that's the better solution. The best, honestly, rent out some kind of storage, roll all your tools out of there, have a concrete company come in and actually level out the floor. Pour, 2 centimeters. I'm trying to relate to you guys there.
Fancy pants Rich McGee over here.
If you don't stop using them weird metric units on our 3rd of July episode.
Lost the war units.
Yeah.
But you want them to pour a thin slab to fill in all the cracks and then raise it up at least 1/2 inch, or something significant where it's gonna stay. They know what they're doing. And Mark Spagnolo taught me this many years ago through their podcast. I don't know the name or anything like that, but it is.
I don't
flat,
think they do it anymore.
Yeah, flat is different than level. Don't go for level, go for flat. You actually want your shop floor to angle or slope towards the outside. So if you ever have a spill or something, it'll roll out of there. So don't worry about level. Just make sure it's flat so you can roll stuff over it. And honestly, pouring a new slab in there might not be that expensive. And I think it's the best solution. All right, who else we got left here? Oh, Max Reed. I didn't get to redo this AI recording, so we're just going to do this one.
Oh, this one
Hi
sounds
and hello.
like serial killer.
Beginning to look at the meetups for next year, because we won't be able to make it to Maker Camp, and need your opinions. If we could only go to one meetup, WBC or Maker Camp, which one would you say we should go to? Thanks, guys. Love you long time.
It just sounds like an audiobook read by an out of shape.
Is he?
Hey, why don't you come out?
Is he?
Why don't you
Is he
come
talking? Is he talking 2025 next
I
year?
think so. I don't think they can make Maker Camp, which makes me super sad. Guys, come on.
Unacceptable.
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 I won't accept it. You guys have to be at Maker Camp.
Also, I just want to point out before we make our decisions and like give our recommendations, by saying that they're not going to Maker Camp this year and then saying they can only maybe go to one WBC or Maker Camp next year, they're essentially offering up like a situation where we might not see them until Maker Camp 2025.
Unacceptable.
So, maybe
you
let
need to
that
think
taint
of your daughter.
answers.
You need to think of Ophelia not seeing her childhood heroes for possibly over a year. Shut up, Dan.
That's right.
She's gonna grow up hero-less. Do you want that, Max?
Yeah, Dan. This is the classic Maker Camp versus WBC. What you think?
I'm actually gonna have a logical answer for this. I feel like. I know, right?
I don't like logical, Dan.
Last year, or this past year, 2024, they went to Workbench Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like in 2025 they should go to Maker Camp, just so they could experience the two different things. Although, like Pete and Braden mentioned, it's a long time between the two, but I feel like that's the right answer for you at this time. Braden. Tell me why I'm right.
No, I think you're absolutely correct. Between the two, Maker Camp is more family friendly. I think that it's more fun. I mean, I love hanging out with everybody, but I think we all know this. Like Maker Camp is just kind of like, it feels like it's more for us. Like it's not work. It's socializing. It's
more of a hangout.
Yeah, and that's what I
than
want.
work.
That's what I want for my friends. If I had to pick one or the other, it's Maker Camp every time. I will postulate that not seeing you guys until like October of next year is absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I think you guys need to go to Maker Camp, but also go to the Surf Prep Maker meetup in the summer.
Where are they located? I always forget.
Surf Prep?
No,
Lake Elsinore, California.
No, not Surf Prep.
Oh,
the
Michigan?
Reeds. My chicken.
I know this answer, but I can't remember it off.
I want to say Michigan as well, but I might be off.
So my answer is pretty similar too. Like, well, listen, we love both events because the two major events that we go to,
obviously.
we love them. But I gotta say, Maker Camp. That's the one. That's the one you guys should be going to. It's becoming. First of all, it's one that you guys can literally bring Ophelia to. It's becoming a family event. It's a lot more hands-on, but there is no homework with that event. You just go. You just go and you have a good time and you meet your heroes. Like I met Laura Kumpf and Simone Yetch last year. Like just ran into them and I didn't know how to say hi, so
Say
Emma ended up grabbing
Simone's
them.
name for all the normies, please.
Oh, Simone Gertz.
There you go.
It's pronounced Yetch because she's Swedish. But like they were just there and like I got to say hi and meet them and like I met Jimmy years ago where we used to like hi Jimmy, would you want to be on our podcast? Now we're like, hey Jimmy, and then he points at Dan and goes, the troublemaker. It's just an incredible event. It's a long weekend. It's a lot less work. It's much easier time just to be there and just exist. And literally it's the lobby of Workbench Con, but for the entire weekend. And we love it.
Yes.
They're in Illinois, Chicago-ish area.
Chicago. That's not
So,
that
you know,
far.
major hub, fly to California. We'll see you guys there.
Also, you guys might be confused because, you know, usually traditionally it's the first week of October. You guys probably had plans. Well, guess what? Good news. It is October 11th to the 14th. It's the second week in October. No one has anything on their schedule for that day. I know that for a fact because it's a week. Yeah. What? Get out of here. So listen, I think it's worth it. I think this is the event to go to. I will be very upset and I will sue. The podcast will sue you guys if you guys don't see us before next year's Maker Camp. We're going to be very upset because I want custody rights to you guys.
We're willing to take one.
Yeah. Or both.
Alyssa.
All three. You know what? All three events. Boom. Final offer.
Just Ophelia's just a unaccompanied minor to California.
Put her on a plane. We'll pick them up. Or we'll pick her
I like
up.
how Braden's just thrown in Surf Preps Maker meetup in the mix.
It's a good one.
It's one that's starting to become a little, should be becoming a little bit more regular, and
I hope that is one of our go-to events because I've been talking about how we need 100%. One between those. Now I need an event in the winter. Like I need a November event.
I think California
like
should
1 month away from
to be the winter one.
December or January, like New Year's Eve.
Give me January
at like Miami, Florida headquarters of some other company.
January in Jamaica.
I think a Maker cruise is the move.
Oh man,
cruises are cheap. The food's built in. Like all you gotta do is get there and get on. It's probably cheaper than Workbench Con.
Honestly, he's not wrong. He's technically correct. The best type of correct.
That's my favorite kind of correct. Closely followed by accidentally.
But yeah, guys, we think Maker Camp's the one to go. So that's our answer.
Yeah.
And
boom.
I think with that
we all had the same answer. We're on the same page, boys.
Boys.
Is it too late for me to change my answer?
Yes, it is.
Locked in. No more time to call a friend.
It's also too late for our patrons to not be mentioned this week.
What? Our patrons not being mentioned? That's blasphemy. Let me mention our patrons just because of that statement.
You don't have
Thank
to read
you
the names
to
again, but you just
all of our I wasn't going to.
Okay.
Thank you to all of our patrons for helping us keep the show alive and well. We're coming in hot for the summer, and that's huge thanks to all of our patrons. If you want to join the Met Army, go over to patreon.com/anotherwoodshop podcast and get signed up over there. We would appreciate anybody who signs up over there, as we always do. If you don't want to help us out financially, you can always help us out by sharing the show. That is free of charge. You can do that however you see fit. You can do it willy-nilly.
love that guy.
He has all the best music.
He's also a patron too. Willy Nilly Woodworks.
Share the show in your stories, in your posts, on social medias all over the world. Is Friendster still alive? Can you share the show on Friendster and
Share us on
MySpace?
Reddit.
Share us on Reddit. Oh my gosh.
On your neighborhood Facebook groups.
You would get all the downvotes on Reddit if you shared our show in comments and posts.
Share us on the Ring app.
The Ring.
On the Ring app.
Wait, is the Ring app like is that like a where you document your ringworm, or
no?
what
If you have a Ring camera, you can. There's a whole social media network.
I thought it was like a documentation of your ringworm and how it was progressing. And
no, that's Friendster.
Getting bigger.
Oh, what's the next door? Share us on Nextdoor.
Or LinkedIn. Can you share us on LinkedIn?
Check us out on Zillow.
House with a Z.
Oh my god.
House. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. So just help us out by spreading our
gospel-y words.
Words are hard. I just
spreading our what, Dan? Spreading our
I was trying to think of something, and it just like my brain just melted. So
worst time
spread
to
us.
have your brain shut down.
Worst time to pause. What are we spreading?
Just spread us. You know what I'm saying? Just spread us.
Oh, speaking of spreading wonderful holiday cheer, CNC with me is doing Christmas in July. But seriously, go check out CNC with me, our week sponsor. It's from Hamilton Dilbeck, our favorite CNC master, who was on a podcast a couple weeks ago. If you want, go back and listen to that one. A couple of months ago. Whatever, man. It feels time flies when you're having fun.
It's back there.
But go check that one out, and go check out CNC with me. A lot of great resources. They also have a yearly membership that is at a huge discount. You basically get 3 months for free. That's bonkers. So go sign up for that. And guys, we'll see you all at the next one next week, in 1 week exactly, roughly. No, actually, 8 days.
1 week and 1 day.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it back on a Thursday again. So we'll see you in that live. We might have a guest. We might not. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and Instagram for all the updates so you don't miss that we are moving things up or back a day, Nick Brim.
Do we post updates on our YouTube channel now?
No, but we post all the things that we do on the YouTube channel.
We sometimes post YouTube shorts.
We're trying to grow and monetize that as well. So, the more we do there, the more we can do good for the community. Because this is just another job
for the earth.
Because we're just here to spread good to the community.
Help us spread.
Stop being cheeky about the spread. And with that, guys, thank you so much for listening. We will see you all next week. I love you. Bye.
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 Love you long time.